right, guys, welcome back to the Side Dish Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Shin, joined as always by my co-host, Jay Lee.
Hey.
And today we have a very special guest in the podcast studio with us. His name's Robert Joe, but you might know him better as Dubudaddy. Rob Joe, welcome to the studio.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, man.
Aaron, I like your official announcer voice.
Did I switch up on you?
It's very smooth.
A little bit. Wait, Rob, didn't you used to do Arirang Radio back in the day? Or were you on you had like a show, or you were on a show, weren't you?
I was a radio DJ for 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What kind of topics did you guys cover? Was it just daily
It was
news?
just music show. It was a job. I got paid.
Uh-huh.
It was fun.
In Korea?
Yeah. I was one of the first generation of like useless American English broadcasters.
Hey, we call you pioneers, okay?
Yeah.
but useless for sure. I mean, those everyday useless kill posts are coming off that plane and
know.
trying to figure out what to do with their
Such a
useless,
surplus.
aimless lives. Dubudaddy, you just ran a marathon. Briefly tell us about that experience. You peed a lot, you were saying off mic.
I did, yes. I peed 3 times during this marathon.
But that's a 26-mile run, so yeah, I think running... I mean, that's hours of running.
Designated areas or
I mean, I think if you're like a really competitive runner and you have a very like strict goal of like coming in under 3 hours or coming in under 3 hours and 30 minutes,
Yeah.
then
I've heard people shit themselves and stuff.
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
a video of someone.
yeah.
Like, please, I hope this isn't on camera because I just shit myself. Yeah.
I am not out to set those kinds of
Yeah,
records.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I just dip into whatever cafe or building looks like they have a lobby bathroom and then I pee.
How did you do? What was your time?
I came in under 4 hours, which
Nice.
was, this is my 6th marathon.
Jeez.
And 2 of them I came in over 4 hours and the rest all under. So this was kind of a return to form for me. And it was the first time in my life that I enjoyed the marathon.
Nice.
Like I ran. Like,
you told
I
me
was
that it
relaxed.
was not that hard, which I just can't believe that. I
It
don't
was
believe
weirdly like just enjoyable. I was like smiling the whole time. I was just kind of like,
Do you
this
get
is not that bad.
Do you get like runner's high?
I mean, I just enjoy running.
You just enjoy running.
But like, even though I enjoy running, like any marathon, even with a pretty fair amount of training, you know, after like 20K, after 30K, you can easily feel miserable. Like your legs will hurt and it'll be like, I'll have to stop and walk.
You're like, what about your nips? I heard your nipples will bleed.
Tape.
Yeah.
Medical tape is very handy.
Do your balls ever
I
maybe?
taped my balls.
Sick.
I taped my balls because experience has taught me sometimes a man needs to tape his balls.
Yeah, because that'll chafe too, I guess,
Yes.
right? Oh my God. Okay. Before we get into the dish of the week, so to speak, which I think is going to be surrounding dogs and pets, a really quick primer. I want to like run through what I know about you because I've known you, Rob. I've probably known you at least for 8 years, and we became like friends maybe around like 4 or 5-ish years ago. But I remember seeing you
I'm
around.
hurt. I thought we were friends for 8 years.
No, because like I definitely like had met you a handful of times in the Itaewon scene.
Yeah.
Like 2015, you know, you come to Southside, like a lot of the local bars that we drank at, I'd see you
Right.
regularly. But then we started hanging out more, I think, when like I started hanging out with Elaine Shin, and then you worked with Elaine, so I kind of naturally just had a reason to like talk to you other than like, oh, cute dog, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think we got closer once we found out that we both had an interest in like creative pursuits,
Right.
in writing. We had a very good mutual friend of mine that I've known for a very long time who's an extremely talented writer.
Yeah.
And I found out you were in the same grad program.
Yeah. That's exactly that. That's how we actually became friends. That's
Yeah.
right.
And, you know, like naturally, even though I like bumping into many of our friends out and about drinking, and I think, you know, that's how the majority of us know each other from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's always nice when someone shares
A creative interest.
yeah, that type of like deeper pursuit other than just going out and having fun.
Absolutely.
Which, again,
is great.
Yeah.
We love doing it. Well, tell us then, when you were at an undergrad at UT, so you went to school in Austin. Are you from Austin, though? You were born and raised in like the Midwest?
I was born in New York and I grew up in Texas.
In Texas,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Houston and then Austin.
Cool. Did you study literature, or what was your major?
I mean, it was undergrad, so it was kind of meaningless. But I did a double major in film, which included like broadcasting and everything. It's technically radio, television, film.
Oh, cool.
So it was like media, film, radio, whatever.
I see.
And then I did like an honors program that was like just liberal arts, like literally BA.
I see. But your goal was to be like a filmmaker, like a writer-director, or more of like a creative director?
Yeah, I wanted to be a director or writer-director.
Who was like your biggest influence as a filmmaker when you were young?
I would say Wong Kar-wai, probably.
I admittedly have only seen maybe, I think, Chungking and In the Mood for Love. I haven't seen a lot of his movies, which I feel like a fake artsy Asian person,
Well, I think the key thing in the 90s, like I happened to catch a film called Fallen Angels.
That's the one that everyone tells me I need to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that whole run that he had in the 90s was really amazing. But I saw that like maybe by myself in like this tiny student union art theater on a Saturday night. I was really depressed. I was feeling really lonely. And I just like randomly decided to see this movie in the theater. Had no idea who the director was. Had no idea about anything. And I just like, it blew my mind.
Yeah. That's awesome. The movie found you in a sense, like you just like had no expectations.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It was a new way to think about like the grammar of film for me, which like really really resonated with me as far as artistically, creatively, sort of the energy, just the emotional sort of vibe of it all.
What about like Richard Linklater, since you're from Texas? Is he overrated, underrated?
I never had a strong opinion about him. Like I have seen him, I think, a handful of times because he's a local legend.
Yeah.
I have friends who were involved in the like remake of. He had like a famous indie film that was his like first film before Dazed and Confused.
Slackers? Those are his first
Slacker,
two.
Slacker was the one. But there was a remake with Austin filmmakers, and one of my friends did one of the sections on that. So when they filmed Waking Life, it was actually when I was in school, and the scene with the philosophy professor.
Yeah, when it turns into a cloud.
So that whole scene was shot during an actual lecture for the philosophy professor, who was a teacher in my major, and like one of my best friends is one of the blurry figurines.
Very cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I think Waking Life was the movie that for me inspired me to like write basically.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So I've actually never seen it. I've only seen.
I'm willing to bet it did not age that well because it's a very sort of introspective, navel-seeking, philosophical movie, and honestly, you can get as much deep shit on TikTok in like 1 minute these days. But for, a 14-year-old watching it, I was like, Rotoscope is crazy. Like this dialogue is so deep. It's so different. So I remember Linklater was a huge influence. Did you watch the Oscars this year? Or like follow up?
I never really watched the Oscars. I don't particularly.
Really? So you're not into mainstream film, it sounds like, or Hollywood?
No, I'm not into it. I mean, the thing is like, I love a fair amount of like films that are kind of challenging to watch sometimes, but at the same time, I have like a terrible attention span. So yeah, I'm right up there with everyone else who can no longer like, oh, this movie makes me think and feel things like, and feels like
when I found out The Brutalist was 3.5 hours, Jaehyun and I had a very serious talk about when we would find the time to watch it, and we still haven't watched it.
Sometimes I end up watching films like if I'm hanging out with a friend because they're watching it, but like it feels like punishment.
Yeah, one of the first things I look at is the runtime before I watch the film.
Every time, you have to.
I mean, it's sad because like I'm a film person and I enjoy these films, but it's like being force-fed broccoli. Although I do like broccoli.
I like broccoli.
No, I empathize with that because as a lit guy, there are times I'm like reading a book and I'm like, I do enjoy it when I force myself to, but I have to force myself to do it. Like eating broccoli, I have to just, if I want my brain to stay sharp and alert and like still like kind of with it in terms of from a literary standpoint, I just need to like do the work and read a fucking book, even though I'd much rather do something passive with my brain.
I'm functionally illiterate at this point because
from, like reading, you mean?
Just from like the torture of the internet having like flushed my brain capacity down.
You're a big internet guy, actually.
It's just like the 20 plus years of like ADHD torture on the internet. Like I can't get through a book anymore.
Yeah.
Like I try sometimes. I mean, some of the books I try to read are like I designed my own failure.
I
tried to read.
All right, Ulysses, chapter 1.
Oh, it's not even that. I tried to read. I was in a book club with some friends online, and we were trying to read Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth.
Oh my God.
Which is like this like anti-colonialist, like it's nonfiction. It's an academic book. Like the prose, like it's quite well written. It's beautifully written, but it's extremely dense.
Yeah.
Academic writing. And I don't know why I thought I would be able to read this thing.
No, for sure. Going back to movies, any movies recently that you've seen? They don't have to be like Oscar nom movies, but I just want to kind of figure out, did you like the John Wick movies? Do you have a capacity to enjoy like a big blockbuster still?
Recently, I made a point to go to the theater by myself. Probably the first time in maybe a year. And I saw Mickey 17 because I wanted to see Bong Joon-ho. I know you don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it too. It was so fun.
Cool.
Robert Pattinson was great. All
so
the bizarre
good.
stuff
I think
was
the
good.
acting, look, everything about it was great, except for me, the script. I feel like Bong Joon-ho could have gone through 2 more revisions of it and like maybe taken out a few like even a few characters. A lot of like the dialogue I felt was extraneous and really like it helped to get a laugh, but even the laughs weren't that funny to me. But with all that said, I'll revisit it because I felt like after I left the theater, I was like, I feel like this is a movie when I see again, knowing kind of what to expect, I could enjoy it more and just get along for the ride,
The best way to think of it, and I think the most appropriate way to think of it is don't think of it as like a Bong Joon-ho masterpiece that everyone needs to see.
Yeah.
Like it was a great anime film.
Yeah, sure.
It was a perfect anime film. It was sweet. It was fun. It was, kooky.
It had feeling. I think it hit the heartstrings appropriately at times.
The not quite love story was also really quite sweet at the end of it all. It was weird. It was messy.
It was messy. That's what I'm thinking. It was messy.
The film was definitely like much messier than what Bong Joon-ho was famous for. But if you look at all of his English language films, they're all much messier.
I agree. I think Okja had that same issue, even though I actually liked Okja more, I want to say, than Mickey. And definitely Snowpiercer had the same issue.
Okja, the issue with that for me was the performances were so crazy out there.
Yeah.
Like it was
cartoonish.
Yeah. It was. I mean, that one was like a bad anime, like an anime where you're like, oh, I feel like the voice actors they could have toned it down a bit.
Before we move off of movies, I just had to say, I just saw Baby Girl. It was like this sensational sort of like sexy movie about an elderly woman, not elderly, an aging, wealthy, powerful woman, Nicole Kidman, who is seduced by a younger employee. But I just got to say, like, I wanted to go back to a conservative era where we don't see celebrities' breasts anymore. We should hide them.
I don't know anything. I've never heard of this. Wait. Who's the male lead?
It's the guy from Triangle of Sadness. I forget his name. Anyway,
I haven't seen the film.
Dude, she takes off all her clothes. Okay, first of all, she's getting railed like half the movie. She's getting fucked, which is okay. That's fine. But then towards the end, she has this very like powerful, I guess, scene where she like gets naked and the guy's like, "You're beautiful," and she's like, "No, I'm not," and he's like, "Show me your body," and she reveals her strangely perky tits, which are clearly like. They look like porn star tits, but then her face looks like a scarecrow. So there's just something going on where I couldn't, like, I don't want to body shame her. I know that's literally what I'm doing, but I just want to say, like,
literally. No, actually, you're not. You're face shaming her.
I'm just expressing how I felt watching this movie, and it really bothered me.
Well, let's talk about this, Aaron. It does sound a little bit like your problem was not her breasts. Your problem was the face attached to them was too old. And you felt conflicted because you weren't sure what to do when presented with the sexuality of an older woman.
Clearly, the point of this scene is to confront, like an aging woman's body, right? But the reason why I didn't like it is that her body's fucking hot. It's just weird. It like doesn't accomplish what the scene. If the scene wanted to succeed in what it was trying to do, she should have looked less perfect. Like her tits look perfect.
Right.
Her stomach is perfect. Like it's just weird. It just It's almost like she's like, "Can I take off my clothes for this scene? I've been working out a lot lately."
I mean, hey, like if you work out a lot and you look good, I can understand the desire to show it off.
I can see it too. I mean, I had the same thing with Jennifer Aniston for a few years.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I'll let
there
you
were
bring
like
it
a few
up.
years in a row where she had to always play like the slutty like MILF, which is great. You know, good for her. I'm glad I never saw her breasts. Anyway, should we talk about the writing retreat and your Palestine pocket?
My writing retreat. What
Didn't you say you were for a month long in Taiwan, like doing like a
It was a writing retreat, so to speak, because I think it was at the end of the year. It was cold, like January rolled around. I felt like I had just been spending a month just drinking and eating too much and just wasting like my life. And I was cold and miserable and unproductive. So I like randomly was like, oh, you know what? I think I just want to get out of here for a second. I went to Taiwan because I love Taipei and I hadn't been in like a decade. And I just booked like a 3-week trip.
And you just linked up with like writing friends, creatives?
No, I just wrote by myself in cafes.
Oh, wow.
But I did get linked up with some running.
Cool.
Like a running group. And so I met these really great like people that were involved in the running community there. And so what I did was I would go to a cafe and I would, I did my remote work. I'd translate. I would do my work for a few hours and then I would work on my script for a few hours. And then I would run with my goal being to write 10 pages and to run 10K every day.
Wow.
I didn't quite make it, but I got pretty close. Like, I don't know about you, but if I'm productive creatively, then almost anything else that happens, I can like feel good about it.
I mean, I will ride the high of pumping out 3,000 words for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I am in my creative journey. But I know what you mean. Like it's very rewarding, affirming, encouraging to just do the work and be like, hey, I'm still not that bad at this. Like, if I think the delusion though for creatives is like, if I only just took a year off from work and only focus on my novel or screenplay, like I would get it done, which I do believe is true. I just, at this age, I don't think I'm going to have that time for a long time. But
Sure.
But I know what you mean. Like, it's very encouraging.
Well, but the counterpoint is also like you can really feel kind of like a despair sort of creep up on you if you feel like, man, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Like, seeing friends and getting drunk at the same bar every weekend, like just this like endless routine until I die.
Yeah. Look, man, we go to the same bar, so I know exactly what you mean. Although Jay and I found a new bar 2 days ago, so we could
that's
despair.
like making a new friend.
Yeah, we could despair there for a few months. But I know
I
what
like
you
the
mean.
balance of despair and productivity.
No, because it's funny too, because you'll go through bouts, Rob, where like I'll see you probably at Magpie and like the same bars like every weekend, and then you'll just be like, I'm gonna run 26 miles, I'm gonna lose like 10 kilos. And you just do. I feel like you've gone through that transformation like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, if you're overweight, like committing to run a marathon is definitely a good way to like kickstart a diet.
Sure.
Like every once in a while now I have to do like an all or nothing thing, which is sometimes I'll stop drinking for a year. Or like, I'll just run a marathon. Or, I'll go to Taiwan where I don't really know anyone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'll just but it works.
Have you always kind of been a freelancer? Essentially,
you know what? I don't need lots and lots of money.
It sounds like your basic needs are met. You have housing, you have shelter, you have food. Like you can take care of yourselves. Like, and there are times that I return back to that of like when you really do have your basic needs met, everything else is just an invented problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not willing to sacrifice anything more than for any of that like random arbitrary stuff that is sort of imposed on you. Like, you need X type of housing. You need like a car that is, X amount. And like none of that stuff just matters to me.
But also you're an artist, Rob. I'm not kissing your ass when I say I think you're like a genuinely creative person.
Thank you.
And that's a good segue into kind of your reputation, your online reputation, what you're famous for. Well, now, I don't want to sound reductive, but would you say that the Jon Snow Reddit pic with you and your dog did that catapult you into any sort of internet fame, or were you kind of like around the internet forums before then?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was like probably the high point of my life, and everything since then has been like a never-ending decline. where I'll never feel the joys and the highs of that experience ever
You went
again.
like mega viral. So for listeners out there who don't know, so Rob and his late dog Dubu, the most iconic Itaewon duo, and I would say characterized the strip for a decade, a strong decade maybe, right? And Rob went viral on Reddit for a Halloween costume he did one year where he was Rob Stark and then Dubu was...
Jon Snow.
You were Jon Snow and then Dubu was a dire wolf.
Ghost.
Or Ghost, the dog, right?
How dare you?
Sorry, my George R. R. Martin shit is whack. But I've seen the picture. We'll put it up for listeners out there. It's like a really iconic photo. And ever since then, every Halloween, I would kind of just look forward to what kind of creative costume you and Dubu would come up with.
Yeah, like I always liked Halloween. I remember making my own Halloween costumes in elementary school. Like I took apart a Nintendo to use like the pieces to make like a robot costume out of like cardboard, aluminum foil, and like Nintendo.
Wow.
So I was always into that. I love doing arts and crafts stuff. And so like every year my Halloween costumes would get more and more like elaborate.
Yeah.
I learned how to sew. I learned all this stuff.
Dude, you had one that year where there was that game that came out with the goose that
Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, I remember because that was like such an unexpected creative idea that you had.
It was a really fun way to exercise creative thought. I never figured out how to monetize it. I never figured out how to do anything with it. I never like got into like the documenting the process to turn it into content.
You didn't get that Valerian
I just wanted to make a
sponsorship.
Yeah, no one sponsored my podcast. But I just enjoyed the process of creating something for the day.
Absolutely.
And Dubu pretty much hated almost all the costumes because it was just like putting stuff on him that is not normal for a dog. So like I also learned to get better about like making costumes that like bothered him less, weighed less.
What were some of the other iconic ones that you can remember?
The best one I ever did was Princess Mononoke.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I made a full costume for myself as the night spirit. Which is sort of like when the forest spirit like
the
turns
ones that
bad.
their necks are like when they turn bad.
Yeah, the big blue monster at the end that like wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
And Dubu was the wolf, and I made like a Princess Mononoke doll that I sewed myself.
Okay, and you put it on his back.
And I put it on his back, and he hated it.
Yeah,
he's like, "What is this like goblin?"
Yeah.
But that was probably like I spent 2 whole weeks making that.
Yeah,
costume.
no. I feel like I asked you once about it, and you'd been like planning a costume like a month before Halloween. You're like, kicking around ideas and sewing it. Let's go back to Dubu. So when did you get Dubu? How did he come into your life? What's the story there?
2010, March, I adopted him. But I'd always loved like Samoyeds. Like I did in 3rd grade in Houston. We had these 6 weeks projects in our little gifted and talented program. And we went to the library, and I think I just decided I'm going to do a project report on sled dogs. So I checked out a book with all these pictures of like Samoyed puppies, and I was just like, oh, these are so beautiful.
Aw, so you had a real connection to Samoyeds. They were your first favorite breed.
And then like at some point in my 20s, I started thinking like, oh, I would like a dog. And so I talked about it for 7 years. And then one day I saw Samoyed in a dog cafe, and I was like, I should look it up. So I Googled Samoyed soul, and like a picture of Dubu actually came up on some animal rescue site. So I went and visited like 5 times, and then over like 3 months, and then I was like, oh, I'll just foster him.
Yeah,
see how it works out.
Was he a straight up puppy, or was he like they didn't know
he was
how
full
old
grown. So he was at least like a year and a half
but
old.
they didn't know exactly how old he was.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with rescue dogs.
Right.
But I brought him home, and I think I knew like as long as he didn't completely destroy everything, like I was gonna make this work. But that was 2010, and then.
Well, he lived a pretty long time for a big dog then, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he was around 15 maybe.
Yeah.
When he died. So he died, it's 2025 now. So he died 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago. So that's 13 years I had with him.
Yeah.
Which is amazing for a big dog.
It's a very...
And it was like, I remember, the people that used to volunteer at the shelter that I rescued him from, they actually also ran that they would put rescue dogs out on Itaewon Station to like try and get them adopted.
I remember. Yeah.
And so one of those women, like I would bump into her from time to time. And one day she saw me with Dubu, like the year that he was dying, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's still alive!
Yeah.
Like you're doing such a good job." And then she gave me treats to give to him.
Aww.
But yeah, and like they were great. You know, like I contacted that woman when Dubu passed because I wanted to donate all of his stuff to a good dog charity that would, you know, so that it would go to other dogs to get rescued. Rescue dogs. Adopt, don't buy. They really bring amazing things to your life.
You're talking to someone whose mom has straight up has a relationship with a golden doodle farm.
Oh gosh.
My mom is like the most evil person in your eyes. But I understand what you're saying for sure.
I mean, reputable breeders, you know.
Yeah. Oh, these breeders in Central California are sketch, dude. They are super sketch. Any favorite like Dubu stories, or what was his personality, man? Like he seems to me like he was a really mischievous pup. I don't know why I think that, but
I mean, I think I got lucky. He was pretty well behaved.
He was very well behaved. Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people just know Dubu. There are people that I know that have never met me. They just know
they
Dubu.
know your dog. Yeah.
Yeah, like Dubu has like hung out at their house and stuff because like a friend that was dog sitting and they took them over.
I see.
But you know, like. Probably the biggest presence he had was I used to go to a cafe called Ways of Seeing in Hannam-dong for like a decade. That was my favorite place to go. I would write there. And I would be able to go with Dubu and let him off leash and he would just wander around the cafe by himself. He would just go up and like say hi to people. He would like run up to greet new people.
Yeah.
He was such a presence there that people apparently would call and ask if the cafe dog was there that day.
Cute.
But yeah, I mean, everyone who worked there loved him. You know, he was really well behaved.
Did he like attention from people? Like,
yeah, he was. I think you know what, honestly, because before I got him, he was tied up to a chain for 6 months.
oh my God.
And I think he was like traumatized by being kind of abandoned. And he's, you know, Samoyeds are really friendly dogs. They're really social. So I think like after that, he was so afraid of being alone that he like loved. Like I used to take him the first year I had him. I used to take him up to Namsan, and he would get crowded. Like 20, 30 like kids yelling in his face and he'd be like
that's one thing I remember of Dubu. He was always like so down to like chill and be pet and just like hang out, and then when he like wanted to walk away, he'd just walk away to another person. You know, like,
and you know, like as he got older, you know, he was a little less friendly. He was never like rude or mean. I mean, you know, he's a dog, you can't be rude really. But he you know,
rude. He could be rude.
But he would get a little more like tricky to predict his like behavior or like also he couldn't hold his pee. Like me, if he ran a marathon, he would probably pee a lot more. Just right on the street in front of the other runners.
Did he ever misbehave at home though? Like, you know, I feel like I saw a story once where he like must have like torn some shit apart. But every dog does that, obviously.
You know, he was so stupid when I first got him, or at least I thought he was, that I would just keep his food in a big trash can next to his kennel. And he never, you know, next to his crate, and he never like thought twice about it. Yeah, tried to even though he saw every day that I would like take food out of this container right next to his place and I would like put it into a bowl. And then like after maybe a year or two, he started realizing like, I don't need that guy. I can just feed myself. And so he started getting into it. So then I put it on top of his crate. And then he figured out that he could jump onto my bed and then jump across and knock the trash. So he figured out
ways to get food.
And so I realized that my dog was not just handsome. He also could think. But I like, didn't give him enough credit.
Aw.
Yeah. So once I like put him on a diet, he would just ransack anything that even smelled like food. So I had to start like tying down my trash can.
That gets a little bit cumbersome. Also, he didn't have like separation anxiety and stuff, like bark a lot when you were gone or whine?
Well, I mean, it turns out he did a little bit, but he was, I think, pretty good compared. Like he wasn't barking all day, but he would definitely bark a bit.
That's the one thing I hear about all my friends who've rescued. It's like 9 times out of 10 the dog like loses it if you leave them, because like they've been abandoned once, so it's like it's like super triggering.
I mean, he didn't bark all day, but he would just sometimes bark. Like I found out later, because I think it wasn't all the time, but it would happen while I was gone, so I didn't know.
Right. Do you have like a Ring camera at home so you could spy on your dog?
No, I thought about doing that at one point.
I feel like I know that they're just dogs, but I feel like it's an invasion of their privacy.
I know.
I'm not down to spy on my dog. I don't care what he's doing.
We have a friend who checks in on her dog, and I feel like the dog's gonna get freaked out. Like this disembodied voice is just like,
oh, they like talked.
Hey. Yeah.
But I did want to mess with that, but it would have involved too much.
And they say like laser pointers like fuck up cats' brains and stuff. I don't know if that's true, but someone told that to me. I was like, oh shit.
But if you had like an automated camera with like a voice thing and like a little food dispenser, you could like dispense treats every time.
No, they legit have that.
All those things.
They have that now.
I just never got around to it. And then he died, so now I can't. It's too late.
Well, we miss Dubu a lot. You said earlier that he had a lot of fans, right? Like some people knew him and they didn't know you. Were there any like have you ever gotten like a weird request or just a weird interaction with someone? Like, did anyone ever offer to buy Dubu from you or something?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, people would, a lot of times, like people would just randomly ask how much the dog cost.
Okay.
Like that was a very common like Korean question.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
But like,
it's so invasive.
But I took that as like a sign that they were just like,
what's the retail on one of those?
Also, how much money do you make?
What is the retail value of your son? But like, I kind of got it. Like they were just like, the dog was so like impressive to them that they just kind of mentally were like, oh, how could I also?
I'm not gonna give you this much credit, but I'm gonna insinuate it. I've been seeing a lot of big dogs in the last few years, and I have to say, like, I think you pioneered, or at least you like tilted the zeitgeist, because a lot of young people prefer big dogs. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be Koreans only wanted fucking Poms and Malteses. I
mean, I definitely think walking around publicly with a dog that like large and amazing, definitely over a decade will leave an impression societally. So I think people were like happy to or saw like, this is a demonstration that this type of animal is like can live here and like have a good life and be like part of the community. Yeah, which is great. I think that's great.
And my final question: how often would you just get laid because you had a cute dog? And what was the craziest hookup?
So I would not.
And did Dubu watch?
Well, no. So I would never like actively try and do a thing where like I meet someone while walking my dog.
Yeah.
But like absolutely the sort of background noise of like Dubu existing gave people a much more positive impression of me than they probably would have had otherwise. Like, I'm sure a lot of people, like, I definitely know that I've met people that completely, like, either ignored me or didn't even register that I existed or would talk to me, but, like, not even, like, and then later, like, oh, you're Dubu's dad?
I see.
And then they became a lot more interested in me as, like, a human.
Yeah.
Which, makes total sense.
I never had a dog. I mean, my family had dogs growing up, but I never like got to enjoy what that must be like. But yeah, like my cousins have a dog and they walk him all the time, and I'm always joking to my younger cousin. I'm like, dude, you're 25. Like, walk the fucking mini doodle around. Girls in Hanam go crazy for him. Talk to them, and but he won't do it. He's Gen Z. Those guys they don't like going outside. It's crazy.
Outside is dangerous, and it requires pants.
It does require pants. Why do I have a very easy time imagining you in your underwear, Rob?
You know what? I don't know, because I don't wear underwear at home. When you live alone, there's very minimal effort you need to do.
You still haven't invited us over to your place officially.
Well, it's because I'm not in my underwear, so it would be weird.
We'll bring some underwear for you.
Yeah, I would love to have y'all over. I feel like
we should pull the trigger on that. Well, since
bring the baby.
Yeah, right. Bring the baby to your house.
Does the baby play poker?
He will. Oh, he will. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, will I try to?
How many chips will your baby be worth?
Oh my God. At least like 15 green ones.
How much is your baby?
How much did that baby cost?
No, but I was thinking about like I saw a TikTok of a dad who like apparently was like, I'm going to make my kid a great soccer player, and it like is a time lapse of like all these clips from when he's born to when he's like 4.
Oh wow!
And he's just an amazing shot. He can like hit anything with a ball, and I was like, yeah, like it seems like the kid genuinely likes it, so it's not like exploitative, right? You're encouraged, you're building a skill. So I'm like, I love, what did I like? I like skateboarding, I like reading, like I liked film. I was like, maybe I could convince my son that he could be a filmmaker, and like give him like a camcorder and like just really encourage him to like make movies. I want him to like basically become like a successful content creator or something. But then I'm like, that's bullshit. Because if you try too hard to make anything happen, it's probably more likely that's going to backfire. And you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like the soccer thing has more upside.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
there's like an established career path with money.
I want my
But
son
then
to be.
you need 11 children. So that's a lot of kids.
I try to. Yeah, sure. I'm going to be the first family that has its own soccer team. I actually floated to Jaehyun that we'd have 3 kids, and she said, absolutely not. We'll have 2 and a dog. And
You could maybe play indoor soccer in those cages then with the 3 kids.
or you know what? Maybe I'll start like a pickleball team.
Is that in Korea yet?
It is.
Yeah.
Have you played? You haven't played?
I haven't. I was bad at tennis, so I guess I could be bad at pickleball.
Yeah. Did you
as
play
well.
sports when you were like in high
I took
school?
like a month of tennis lessons, I think, in 7th grade.
Wow.
For no reason.
Were you a filmmaker in high school? Did you do like theater or anything like that?
Well, that was my first interest in it was because I every time we had to do a project, I would always choose to make a video.
yeah. I mean, I was the same way.
We had like a camcorder,
Yeah.
and so me and my friends would just like run around making these like stupid videos, and it
For
was
sure.
so fun.
So
It
much
was so
fun.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why I love shooting. I love being on set. Like I'm a pretty social person,
Yeah.
and I really can vibe and get a lot of.
we should
energy.
also make a short film just for fun. Low key, we could do it in one day. We could literally do it in one day. We don't care about the lighting, don't care about the sound.
All my films were shot in one day, and
Yeah.
it's simply because it's very expensive to rent equipment.
Right. Well, you made a short film a few years ago.
I have
The dream
about
one.
I have about 10 shorts.
Uh-huh.
Maybe only like 3 or 4 narrative ones. But it was my first time winning any sort of award. I got an audience award from the New York Asian American Film
Awesome,
Festival.
nice.
So that was great. That was nice.
Was that for the dream one?
Yeah.
Was that
That
the most
was-
recent one, or have you made any?
That was the
since?
most recent one. That was 5 years ago. This year, I pledged to start making more content. I think I don't know if it's going to be like short films or if I'm just going to try and practice some animation stuff.
Ooh,
But
animation.
that was predicated on the idea that I had done more of my writing.
Yeah.
Which I'm still lagging behind.
No, bro, I feel you. But you said you finished your script. Could you try shooting like a concept scene from the script?
I did not finish my script.
Oh.
I have made a lot of progress on it, but this month it turns out I had to work a lot because of capitalism. And so I'm behind. But I will finish the script this year, maybe not this month.
You know what?
No, this one's it's just like someone wakes up to find out that they're dead. Mm-hmm. And do you remember the Metamorphosis?
Yeah.
It's like that, but instead of a cockroach, like
He wakes up as a dead body.
as a dead body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you seen Swiss Army Man?
Yes.
Daniels.
I enjoyed that. Yes.
Yeah. It kind of has echoes of that to me.
Yeah. It's a love. It's a Zom rom-com.
Okay.
I like to mix genres.
I think genre is cool because it gives you a set of rules to either play by or break, and that it just creates a lot of room for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like Bong Joon-ho has always been really good about that. He plays with genre quite a lot.
I was thinking like I had this theory that Christopher Nolan is so like arrogant, but he's also great. But he's so arrogant because he thinks of himself as like the new Kubrick, and I kind of like did like a film by film comparison of Kubrick's filmography, and like I was like, Nolan is going to make a horror movie next. I've been saying it for years. You know what I mean? But then he hasn't. He's making the fucking Odyssey, which is boring as fuck. I can't believe he's making that movie, but I'm calling it right now. Nolan will make a horror movie before he dies.
Maybe the Odyssey is a horror. Who knows?
Oh, it's a horror to read. Speaking of dogs, should we switch over to in the news? Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. Do you want to go off on any tirades against our Lord and Savior Elon Musk?
I hope someone assassinates him. I really hope like someone Luigi Mangioni's that motherfucker. I'm just sick of hearing about his existence. I just don't want to think about the man. And I hope someone assassinates him.
Just for legal reasons, here at the Side Dish, we don't condone violence in any way, and this is a satirical comment. And anyway,
I'm not planning anything. I'm just sincerely expressing the hope that someone will kill Elon Musk in a really fun way.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be removed from
Life.
the position that he's in.
Yeah, I kind of just want him to be removed from Tesla, but
He just takes up too much space in the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard anything about this? Okay, I don't really know much about this, but this Kim Soo-hyun, the actor, and Kim Se-ron, the actress who died recently from unaliving herself. I guess like from what I understand, it's Kim Se-ron was a rising star, but got into a DUI thing 2 years ago, and from then was like, out of the industry.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Kim Soo-hyun, is like a rising star, if not already firmly established as kind of the 착한 남자, good-looking, kind guy. And it comes out that Kim Se-ron's family accused him of being her boyfriend during some of this time and like not having her back. And now people are trying to cancel him. And that's kind of as far as I've gotten, but I don't really know if there's something I'm missing here.
I mean, there's a couple of things about the story that like I don't really know what happened. I don't know what has happened, etc. But like the reason it was a huge controversy is because the rumor is that they started getting involved when she was underage, like 16 or 15. I don't know the exact years. Like, I really have nothing to say about that other than like, oh, that's weird. And like, I don't know what the details are on that.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, from what I do know, I thought it was kind of fucked up how harsh everyone was about her when the DUI happened. Like, it was a bad DUI. Like, I saw the footage. She like rammed into things. She was obviously very drunk. But like, not that you don't like deserve some sort of like consequence from that behavior, but like, I felt like the nature of the attacks against her and the criticisms against her were really, really like outsized.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
That's how Koreans
it was bad,
are,
but
man.
like, there's so many terrible things that a lot of celebrities have kind of gotten away with that were much worse.
Yeah.
And so I think it was correct to criticize the sort of like unfair standard of criticism against her. And then whatever did happen between the two of them at whatever age, I don't know. I don't want to speculate because who knows, right? But they did definitely date. And it sounds like she was part of his 소속사, so working for the company that he either owns or runs, right? And so in a sense, like when she was in trouble, he was in a position to help her out. And having dated her, he did not.
Right.
So I think that's kind of fucked up. I don't know what happened, what communications happened. I'm sure there was some dumb legal shit. I really can't speculate too much about that. But if you dated someone for years and they were like meaningful to you, especially in a time of their life when they were quite vulnerable and like probably needed mentorship and advice and help. And then when they got super like fucked over or whatever, or like super fucked up her own life, who knows?
Right.
Like if there were ways to be more supportive and helpful.
I think that we can conclude then Kim Soo-hyun definitely bad friend.
Well,
not a good friend.
I mean,
bad friend.
So he essentially, if everything is true, then he groomed her starting from the age of 15 and was like shitty in that he did not help her out when she did the DUI thing, right? And she was massively ostracized by the netizens when that happened and was like completely canceled, and it drove her to like suicide, right?
Yeah.
People have been canceled for worse things, I think, and grooming is and dating like an underage person is like a pretty big offense, yet people are really waiting on trying to like pounce on Kim Soo-hyun and like giving him the benefit of the doubt, whereas like she was completely like massacred. And like, I've talked about this with other celebrities who've gotten into like things that are so minuscule to me, or I think objectively, and yet they get completely derailed and like their careers are like
Korean netizens are
clinically
insane. We've said that many times on the pod.
The celebrity culture here is
it's
like
really
ruthless.
Yeah.
And, especially towards young women. Like,
But she's a child actress. We've seen this in America too. So it's like, look, is anyone going out there like defending Amanda Bynes? She's clearly got a lot of issues. But Amanda Bynes, she's like an American actress who was really
people
big.
Are defending her.
I don't know. I just pulled out an arbitrary name, but I'm just saying like we've seen a child star go down a dark path, right? But I think in American culture, we like to see a redemption arc. Like Macaulay Culkin for a long time had a lot of negative press. I remember in like the early 2010s and late aughts because was like, oh, he's like a loser now, and he like plays in a band, and he like has no prospects, no one, and he's so ugly. And then like he got married to Brenda Song, and now he's like and his little brother just won an Oscar. Like it's like, you know, America, we love in America to see them rise from the ashes. Whereas I think in Korea, we just want to bully them until they die, and then we feel bad. Like that's what I feel like happens more often in this country.
Yeah, but it just seems like Kim Soo-hyun is not being
she's not being like honored in any way or like
no.
defended.
Kim Soo-hyun is the man.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the actor. I mean, a lot of people are. Granted, he is getting a lot of flack. From,
I think he's
like,
getting some flack.
international.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I don't know the details, and like it's just one of those stories where like, okay, this is who knows, you know, like especially because like the crazy YouTube channels involved. Like I super never trust those YouTube channels,
and that one is particularly apparently like
so like I really don't know what to believe. Like there's definitely like it looks messy, it looks bad, but what is clear is like she was, I think, attacked too harshly, and then like people that could have come up to help her and support her more during her time of obvious need afterwards, like it didn't sound like they did.
Kim Soo-hyun, be a better friend next time, okay? All right, moving on.
Are we going to cover all of these?
I think. I mean, we might as well.
Now we have to cover every celebrity.
Well, no, we'll just rival through these. It'll take like one answer each. So DK asks, "What does it feel like to be 37?" It feels great, DK. Thanks. Sue wants us to talk about male loneliness syndrome, which is not a real thing. I don't know. I googled it. It's not like a real syndrome, but it might be alluding to kind of what Rob was mentioning to earlier, that sometimes it can be difficult to find meaning as a man in society without these sort of, for lack of like traditional kind of markers of whatever.
Well, I mean, I think like loneliness and sort of existential like doubt and depression, those are all very universal things
They're not
that
just
people
male.
go through.
Yeah.
But the way that gender works in society, men are in a certain sense discouraged from communicating about this more, and probably don't have maybe the same tools or the support network, or reach out to friends, or are lazy, or are like too busy being incels. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a lot of ways where it feels like the inertia of being male in most traditional settings keeps you from reaching out or doing the work to get mentally connected and healthier. So if that's what she's talking about.
Do you have a therapist? Do you
I
therapy?
don't, but it's because therapists are expensive.
Yeah, you have a word processor and you vomit your feelings onto the page. You're an
No, I
artist.
don't even do that. Like I did look for a therapist like 5 years ago, and I was like, I didn't successfully, like I went to like 2 or 3 sessions, and then I stopped going because I was like,
you fell in love with your therapist.
no, I was very shallow and bad in the other way. I was like, I don't trust my therapist's fashion sense.
Oh yeah.
She is too bedazzled, and it like made me doubt her taste in everything.
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
felt like
you questioned her intelligence because you didn't like her fashion.
yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. But you know, hilariously, just from seeking therapy, I felt so much better about myself that it like knocked me out of that particular depression.
No, facts, bro. I think
Everyone
getting help isn't the first step. Thinking about getting help is the first step.
making that first step is sometimes enough.
I did start watching 나는 Solo. Like Korean dating
That's
show.
like therapy.
Yeah, and there's a psychologist on there, I think, or a psychiatrist, and I would not want to get therapy from this dude.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like
yeah. I
Korean
think
therapists would not understand the Korean American mind anyway.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, therapy is hard because it's like finding someone. Like, honestly, it's a lot like trying to date somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you need
Yeah.
a lot of compatibility. You need to like work out how to communicate. The person has to be right for you. Like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, finding a good
plus money.
therapist is
And
Plus
very
it's
expensive.
expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Speaking of expenses, Sean wants to know what tax issues we face as foreigners in Korea. And I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. Rob, you want to chime in?
I'm just so happy that I found an accountant several years ago, and I just pay them to think about it.
That's what I do too, actually.
I'm just very bad with money.
I don't know how he files my taxes. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, Sean, to answer your question, just get an accountant. and make him do everything.
I've specifically never been good with money. So
Oh, really?
I'm like, if I do ever get married, my hope is that whoever I end up life partnering with is really good with money and finances.
Like a CPA or something.
Or just has that skill set.
Yeah.
Because it would be just, like if you do have a life partner, I feel like it must be great if they have skill sets that you lack. Wouldn't that be great?
True. Although I will say I know what you mean, but now that I'm married, I realize that isn't as true as I used to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you can both just hire an accountant, that also works.
I mean, that's what Jayon and I. She's not really.
But maybe the other
either.
person is really good at reminding you that you should both just hire an accountant.
She is really good at reminding me of the things that I haven't done yet. And then moving on, Jen wants to know, why did it snow in March? We don't know, Jen. The weather's been weird. And lastly, Julesy Two Shoe says, why is that corgi a DJ? And the answer is Bobby wanted to go viral on Instagram and made his dog a DJ.
I was like, what is this meme that I've never heard of about?
No.
I see.
It's from the post that I put on our story.
I see.
Great. How interesting that we ended the episode on a dog. Wow.
Full circle.
Full circle. Rob Joe, do you have any parting thoughts or words of wisdom to leave our audience?
Staying on brand.
Okay.
Important.
Staying on brand is important. Well, speaking of brand, anything you want to plug? Any shirts you're designing? Any new releases coming down the line?
Escape from Capitalism. No, you know what? When does this go out?
Probably next Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, every other Saturday for the next several weeks, I will be printing T-shirts, part of a bootleg guerrilla movement to fund the activities of KCAP, which is the Korean Cultural Alliance for Palestine.
Cool.
And we'll be out on the PPS marches every other Saturday.
So that's
in front
like
of the Israeli
29th
embassy.
and like the 12th, like those dates?
20, whatever this Saturday
So
is,
22nd,
and then every other.
okay,
Yeah,
22nd, 5th, 19th. Got it. So go support.
Please come out and support. Genocide is bad. I'm going to make that extremely weird hot take.
Genocide is bad. Killing children is bad. Oh, the last question, Rob. What's your favorite banchan? What's your favorite side dish?
I'm a big fan of what I grew up knowing to be 골금짠지.
What the fuck is that? Is that a Wong Kar-wai movie?
It's basically dried radish. And most people know of it as mumalengi. For some reason, I don't know if it's like a 사투리 thing from like 경상북도 where I grew up or where my parents are from, but
골금짠지.
yeah, and they always called it 골금짠지.
Cool.
So I always knew it as 골금짠지, and I came to Korea and be like, oh, where's the 골금짠지? And everyone's like, what the fuck are you
Get
talking
out of
about?
here, Mongolian. Yeah.
You stupid kyopo.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Side Dish Podcast. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm if you just like our content, share it on Instagram, and follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. And with that said, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.